There was a slight upset in the NCAA tournament in Division One women's basketball, and it was a very close game to say the least. And I apologize for looking out because I cannot memorize all this stuff. 4 seed West Virginia lost to 5 seed Kentucky, 74-73. And I did warn West Virginia fans that just because you're at home for the first 2 rounds does not guarantee you to go in Sweet 16 for the first time since 1992. It still remains to be that way on how long it's been. And this is the first in Sweet 16 for Kentucky in a decade. West Virginia's 28-7 overall, and obviously their season's done. While 5 seed Kentucky will now play 1 seed Texas, and that's a rematch from the regular season on February 9th in Austin. Texas won that game 64-53, but this upcoming meeting will be in Fort Worth, Texas. So it's pretty much a home game. I want to just call it the way it is. They're 25-10 overall. I will say this: West Virginia was only up the last lead they had was 7-5, but after that, Kentucky led the rest of the way, and Kentucky did allow West Virginia to come back, but they did just enough to win, as you could tell. So in the first half, it was tied at 36 apiece. Kentucky scored 38 points in the second half. West Virginia scored 37. You know what's crazy is that fourth quarter was 23 points by West Virginia, 12 by Kentucky. But there's more to the game than that. That's why I'm going to go over the last minute of the game. This is besides stats, and there was some craziness at the end. I'm going to just say that right now. Okay. With around 55 seconds left, Tony Morgan from Kentucky made an 18-foot jump shot, and Kentucky did call timeout. And around 33 seconds left, Asia Boone fouled for Kentucky. It's like you don't have to play, you don't have to foul. And Gia Cook went to the line, made both free throws to make it 74-73, and you could tell she was dealing with a little bit cramping potentially. Kentucky did call timeout to advance the ball. I will say, West Virginia tried to play this out defensively, and they sped them up. Sped Kentucky up. They took a shot around 11 seconds left, and it was a 3 by Amelia Hassett, but missed it. West Virginia got the defensive board by Jordan Harrison, and West Virginia did call timeout, and they put more time on the clock around 8 seconds. I will say, West Virginia had a good look to take the lead for the first time in a while. Gia Cook attempted a 17-foot jump shot, but missed it barely. It was in and out. Then Tiana Key got the defensive board for Kentucky, and Kentucky did call timeout. It was like 0.8 seconds. I will say, though, initially, when Tony Morgan, the ball came back in bounds on a side out, they ruled it off of West Virginia, but they overturned it because West Virginia asked for a coach's challenge, and they retained their timeout. And it was like a turnover by Tony Morgan right there. So here's the catch, though. It was 0.2 seconds. It had to be a tip, and West Virginia obviously called a timeout to advance the ball. And unfortunately, West Virginia caught the ball instead of trying to tip it near the rim. You got to tip the ball if it was like 0.4 seconds or less. If it was like 0.4, it's a catch and shoot. Or 0.5, it's definitely catch and shoot. That's just tough. And I know West Virginia missed some layups in the second half, and it's not even mentioning what they missed in the first half, but you get the point. They were just like one shot away from winning the game, to say the least. And West Virginia shot 42% from the field. 42% from the field on 60 attempts, 45% on threes on 20 attempts, 88% on free throws on 16 attempts. That's 2 misses right there. I cannot say go 100% at the line all the time, at the free throw line. It's hard to go 100%. So you got to make one more shot in general or get another stop 23 rebounds. That's a very low number when compared to Kentucky. And I'll go over that in a while here. 6 of those were offensive. 9 assists. Not a great number. 8 turnovers. You did a pretty good job taking care of the ball. You gave yourselves a chance. 8 steals. 2 blocks. And 15 fouls. No points off the bench. And 4 players that were in double figures that combined for all 73 points. I mean, Cindy Shaw did everything she could. I mean, 23 points on 8 for 16 shooting, 6 for 11 on threes, 1 for 1 on free throws. Gia Cook had 23 points on 5 for 13 shooting, 2 for 6 on threes, 11 for 12 on free throws. Jordan Harrison had 11 points on 4 for 13 shooting, so very not as efficient. And yeah, Gia Cook was technically not efficient, but you get the point. Yeah, back to Jordan Harrison, like 1 for 3 on threes, 2 for 2 on free throws. And Kiara Wheeler had 16 points on 8 for 11 shooting. And Carmen McRae did not score in this game. She only played like 11 minutes, so I don't know if it was due to matchup or what, but they played Celia Revere more minutes than Carmen McRae in this game. It could have been like an injury or just matchup, I don't know. Now, Kentucky only had 4 bench points, in which was by Jordan Obi, by the way. 3 double-digit scores. They combined for Tony Morgan with 15 points, 3 for 9 shooting, 0 for 1 on threes, 9 for 10 on free throws. The Clara Strack, which I thought that could have been a problem for West Virginia because look at Kentucky's height. I mean, 18 points, and she did get 15 rebounds, 8 for 14 shooting, 2 for 3 on free throws. And Tiana Key had 19 points, and she also had 10 rebounds. So that was a problem right there in terms of size as well. And those two out-rebound West Virginia in this game. They did not have an answer for them rebounding the ball, to say the least. 9 for 14 shooting, 0 for 1 on threes, 1 for 2 on free throws, and 2 players scored 6 or more points. I mean, those 3 double-digit scores combined for 19 plus 18, that's 37, plus 15, that's 52 points. And 2 players scored 6 or more points this game. I mean, Amelia Hassett had 9 points, though, 2 for 7 shooting, which all were threes, and 3 for 3 on free throws. And Asia Boone had 9 points as well, so 18 points right there. Kentucky shot the ball better from the field, 48% on 56 attempts. However, 29% on threes on 17 attempts. You've got to be better, especially going against Texas next. 83% on free throws on 18 attempts, which, you know, that's crazy because when you look at it, Kentucky is 69.1% on free throws for the year. They did better than their average as a team. And that's important, especially when you want to try to move on to the Sweet 16. 39 rebounds, 12 of those offensive, 13 assists, 17 turnovers. You got to be better than that. And West Virginia's defense is very similar to Texas in terms of like pressing defense. So that's going to be interesting how they're going to handle that. 2 steals, 6 blocks, 16 fouls. Now I'm going to go to the points out turnovers, points in the paint, fast break points as well. Now points out turnovers actually favor West Virginia, 15-8. That's one of the reasons why West Virginia was close in this game. Fast break points did favor West Virginia as well, 8-6. So that's another reason why it was closer. But points in the paint favor Kentucky in this game, 32-28. It's not exactly an ideal look for the Big 12 to only have like one Sweet 16 team. I'm going to just call it the way it is because Oklahoma State, sure, they're technically alive in the round of 32. They have yet to play their game with 1 seed UCLA at UCLA, but UCLA is going to beat them, and they're going to beat them convincingly. Not exactly a good look for the conference, to say the least. The look of the Big 12 in women's basketball has to get better next year. Only one Sweet 16 team, and that's TCU, and they even had to survive against a 6 seed Washington team for the Big 10 in overtime. I mean, 62-59. I know West Virginia did get a former top 100 recruit, like for the 2026-2027 season, and Shantae Murray. That's 6'1" tall as like a wing, like guard slash forward. That's really big right there for them. And we're going to have to wait and see how they handle the offseason. Because when you look at the players they're going to lose for West Virginia, you're losing a Kiara Wheeler. You're losing a Jordan Harrison. You're losing Cindy Shaw. That's 3 out of 4 double-digit scores. And this is pending transfer portal. I know. And Joe Cook's going to be a senior next year. And obviously, Carl McRae is going to be a senior next year. And it's not including losing like Cindy Woodley and Celia Revere. So it's not like the Big 12 is some amazing basketball conference. I unfortunately think TCU's got the right matchup to go to Elite Eight, and that's going to be the only one. And they're going to get bowed out in the Elite Eight anyway. Forget Final Four for them against any one seed. I'm sorry. Even like if Virginia they beat Iowa at Iowa, they could beat TCU, and that would be a bad look for the conference too. But either way, it's not exactly ideal for the conference. Yes, TCU going to the Elite Eight would really help the Big 12 a little bit, but then they're going to lose. They're not going to be a Final Four. So we're going to honestly wait and see what happens from here. So, for Kentucky going against Texas, and obviously West Virginia in the offseason. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe, and see you guys later on the road. 800 subscribers, of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. Some more money this course like video, comment video really helps YouTube background. Some more people see us, sharing the video does help as well. So more people could watch, and if you're watching, and not subscribe, hit subscribe button, notification bell as well. I know this is a tough loss for Mark Kellogg, but I think he's going to use this as motivation going to next year. And honestly, this is a huge win for Kentucky because, Kenny Brooks, this is year 2 for him. Last year, they finished in the round of 32. Now they're in the Sweet 16 this year. Probably not much further than that, but still. And obviously, the year before he left for Kentucky, they lost to Baylor in the round of 32. And it was a close game right after the Final Four run the year before.